Hey everyone, today I'm sharing 10 things you should never do on a cruise ship. So this was a really fun list to put together because everybody has opinions once you go on a cruise on what should be happening and what shouldn't be happening. And most people just love sharing those opinions on social media or to anyone that will listen. Now be sure to stick around until the end because I'm sharing one that is really controversial. Like, it's really controversial. I almost didn't want to post about it just because people get highly emotional about this when these discussions happen on social media platforms. But you know what? I'm sharing my top 10 list, and it is definitely on the list, and I think something you should know. And also, I have a bonus, I guess we'll call it number 11, that I didn't think about until I ran into an issue personally. I actually feel like this cruise line stole our money. This was the first time we went on this cruise line. It's a one and done for us. If you have any absolutes of what you should never do on a cruise ship, leave them in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel so you're notified when I upload future content before you even get on the ship. And the first one is don't pack light. I know you will see videos over and over explaining to you how to pack in a carry-on and how you can pack light, but what is even the point of that? And to me, it's actually smarter to pack heavy, especially if you want options, comfort, and don't prefer re-wearing sweaty clothes. Now, when I pack, I usually have an outfit for during the day. There's usually different things that I want to wear at night, to dinner. Ports are different than pool days and beach days. There's so many options, and I have never heard of anyone regretting overpacking. But you could possibly regret underpacking if you don't have what you wish you did. So if you want to do the carry-on challenge, go for it. But my advice is overpack and make sure you have everything you might want. As you're researching before you get on your cruise, don't trust everything you hear in social media groups, on the cruise pages or Cruise Critic. These platforms can be very helpful, but they can also spiral into a lot of drama and misinformation. I've seen posts go off the rails in regard to drink package rules, dress code confusion, things that feel massive online but are nothing once you're on the ship. Use this information and these tips to get a feel for what you may experience or so you can plan better. I've seen people talk about wanting to cancel their cruise because of other people's opinions, and we got to remember that misery loves company, and a lot of people just want to talk about everything that makes them miserable, and some people just want to cause drama, and take it all with a grain of salt. Use it to get a good feel for the cruise and have an idea on maybe how to plan, but trust your own experience. Don't jump the gun based on what you hear. Try it first. And if you don't want to return, don't. Right, when you get on board, don't skip the muster drill. For some people, this seems like a silly thing. You have to go check in at your muster station, but now it is so streamlined and easy. You just do it with your key card right when you get on board. They scan to ensure that you were there. There's usually a video to watch. Sometimes you can even do it before you board at home, which makes that easy, but don't skip it. Don't try to do other things. It's best to just get it out of the way immediately because you will have somebody show up at your room. Sometimes they will page your name. Sometimes I've heard of them turning off your cruise card so you can't purchase drinks or anything else. And it's also a great safety preparation in case something would happen. You want to know where to go and not be scrambling in a panic. That leads me to number 4. Don't go straight to your cruise cabin. I know it's exciting to go and see what your room looks like and meet your room steward and even drop off some of your carry-on baggage. They have a very short window to completely make up these rooms and prepare them for you. And it's just disruptive if they haven't completed. Sometimes they'll see you in the hallway and feel as though they should greet you and introduce themselves. Hi!
My name is Kelly. I'm the one who will take it. Try to enjoy our ship.
Thank
it's
you.
A brand new.
Which sets them back even more. So leave them alone. Stay away from your room unless it's required because the cruise line has your card keys on the door, which some cruise lines do. But otherwise, grab the cards and move on and find a place for lunch. Number 5. Don't go to the buffet on Embarkation Day. Everybody out of habit goes to the buffet for Embarkation Day. It seems like the quickest way to go grab something to eat and you're hungry, you want to check out all the food that they have available, but it is the busiest place on the ship when you board, so stay away. Go to the main dining room for lunch. Now, not all cruise lines have the main dining room open on Embarkation Day. There's usually other options, even if it's not the main dining room, so look at your dailies on the app to see what's open and find something, anything other than the buffet. Plus, as packed as it is and all the people who are walking through, eating and touching everything, and then you wonder why you got COVID on day 4, and then you want to put it on social media and blame the cruise line because there is an outbreak, stay away from the buffet on Embarkation Day. Go someplace quieter and more sanitary. Number 6, don't purchase the cruise line's Wi-Fi until you check with your cellular provider. Now, I have learned recently, way too recently, that cellular providers, the major companies like AT&T, Verizon, they have cellular cruise plans now, and they're like a quarter of the price of Wi-Fi on board. This is an amazing savings, so make sure and look into that, because I know we all want to stay connected throughout our cruise. You want to be able to access friends and family, but also the internet, so you can look at reviews and research the ports you're stopping at. So check with your cellular provider before purchasing the Wi-Fi. Number 7, don't wait to get on board to book your shore excursions. Now, there are a few reasons for this. Number 1, the popular ones sell out. So if there's something you really want to do, book it in advance. Also, there are always discounts and incentives when you book in advance, so everything costs more when you get on board. And if you're anything like me, after what you invest in your cruise, the last thing you want to do is pay extra once you get on board. There's also many private companies that you can book really solid shore excursions through that are less expensive than the cruise line, and you're going to have more time to research that prior to getting on the ship. So speaking of shore excursions, number 8 is don't book your shore excursion close to your onboard time, or ensure that your shore excursion doesn't end close to the onboard time, because the ships wait for nobody. And I'm sure you've heard of pier runners. They're fun to watch, but that is not anything I would ever want to be. Stuck on a port in nothing more than a suit and a cover up and a beach bag, and that's it. I always try to make sure I'm on my way back to the ship at least 2 hours prior to onboard. Now, that may sound like a lot, but when we were in Honduras and we based our commute back on our commute there, but what we learned is on our way back, it gets very congested with traffic because apparently everybody's trying to get back to their cruise ships around the same time. And it's like mid-afternoon that the driver said traffic gets terrible. And if you don't know how that works locally, then you have no way of knowing how much extra time to add. So just add it and save yourself the stress. Number 9, don't forget to check the ship time versus the port time. This also can make you late for your onboard time if you're not paying attention. Now, many cruise lines have the same time as the port. And so we would get a card every evening in our bed that would tell us, not in our bed, but would be like on top of our bed. There would be a card that would say, turn your clocks back an hour or turn your clocks forward an hour, and it would match the corresponding port. Even if we had a sea day, it would still have us adjust our clock, so we always matched where we were. So in those cases, it's never a problem. There are certain cruise lines that keep the same port time as your embarkation port. If you port in Miami, which is Eastern time, your ship time will be Eastern time all week. So depending on where you stop on your cruise, those times could vary. And if your phone auto adjusts to the local time, you could be working with the wrong time and your ship can leave without you. So pay attention to this, and of course, make sure you know what your onboard time is. Okay, we have made it to number 10. This is a hot topic, and everybody's been talking about it lately, and I think that's due to all of the new information that has been coming out online about how this works. My tip is what you should never do on a cruise ship is pay the auto gratuities. I said it. I know you want to get mad, and the comments are gonna blow up. Something I've learned, and something I think that we should all respect, is that everybody should do with their own money what they want to do with their own money. Cruises aren't cheap, especially lately. And what I learned is that the auto gratuities aren't actually bonus money that goes to the crew members. In the US, when we pay gratuities and tips, that's to give whoever is the service provider an added bonus because they provided good service. I mean, I guess a lot of us do it even if it's not the best service. We just automatically do it. But it's extra money that your server will get outside of their salary, or the bartender, or your bellhop, or your valet. This is all extra money, and that's why we do it. So do your own research, because there's a bunch of information about this online. All it does is subsidize the salaries. The cruise lines then get to pay the crew members less, and the money comes from us, but their salary is exactly the same. So for me, if they're not benefiting from it, I would rather take the auto gratuities off my onboard account. We bring cash, and we much more appreciate being able to hand over tips to everybody that enhanced our vacation. This way we know who's getting the money and that they're actually going to get to keep it, we think. It sounds like, from what I've heard, that most cruise lines don't require crew members to turn in cash, which wouldn't be the worst thing as long as they were pooling it to where everybody was getting it as an extra bonus. But if it's another thing to pad the salaries, then that would be disappointing. But I haven't heard that yet. So tell me what you think about the auto gratuities. Do you want to take them off your bill? You know, I'm kind of torn about sharing this because I feel like if too many people do that, they're just going to raise the cruise prices to compensate for it. I don't want that to happen. This is helpful information for everybody, so do with it as you please. Here is my bonus tip, and something I didn't think about before, is don't wait until the last day or until you've disembarked to check your onboard account. And here's why. We were on a cruise and we had the drink package, and a couple days in, we saw that a few drinks we were getting charged for. Now, this is not because they didn't qualify for the drink package or they were more expensive than the drink package max. It wasn't any of those things. So we went to guest services promptly and said, we were charged for these drinks. We have the drink package. They looked in the computer and said, oh, yep, you're right. We will adjust it, but we can't do it right now. Which I don't know why that was. It was the only cruise line that we've ever been to that they couldn't handle something in the moment at guest services. And they apologized. They said sometimes the drink package isn't capturing appropriately. We'll take care of this. Then the next day, a couple more drinks we were billed for. We kept returning to guest services, who kept assuring us that they were going to adjust it. And like the first couple days got adjusted. So we thought, okay, it just takes a couple days and it's delayed and then it will be taken care of. We disembarked the ship and our final bill had several drinks still charged. First thing I did is I called the cruise line and said, hey, this is what happened. I need somebody to fix it. I thought it would be fixed immediately. They would look in their records and see that we have the drink package. Oh, you're right, you shouldn't have been charged, and they would remove it. Well, that was not the case. They said for onboard account charges, you have to email this address at onboardaccounts.com or something, and they handle it there. Nobody responded to that. I emailed several times. So I finally decided to dispute with my credit card, which is what everybody would say, right? You have to dispute with your credit card and they take care of it. Well, that didn't happen because they ended up sending our cruise documents to the credit card, and somewhere on there when you're signing your stuff or checking this box or whatever, because who reads everything in the documents, right? There was somewhere that said, if you don't get your adjustments made prior to disembarking, then you're responsible for them. The credit card company would not remove the charges. The cruise line essentially stole money from us. We had a drink package. They assured us they would take care of it, and they still haven't adjusted anything. That was on the Holland America Eurodam. And I'm calling it out because I don't want anybody else to go through the same thing. That was our first experience with Holland America, and as far as we're concerned, it's our last. There's way too many cruise lines and new ships coming out and options out there that I'm not going to give my business to a company that operates this way. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else we should make sure that we are not doing on a cruise ship? Leave it in the comments. Yay, we're done.